Hello happy people, my name is Dan and it's that time again. It's time to look at some more GM48 Game Jam games. This theme was just one, so let's look at more than one of these entries.
But before that, really quick, this video is sponsored by my Instagram page. Come and say hello at Tide_Dan, where I post game bits and a little bit more about my personal life. I'll see you there. Okay, so up first today we have got, as is the theme, Just One, a game called Just One. And in this game you are a sentient one. What you have to do, as you can see here, is jump around, see the other numbers, and shoot at them with your little -1 gun to turn them into ones, the one true number. It's very one themed. It's very on theme. It's not entirely clear. I didn't know how to shoot. I could have done with a little bit of instruction, like use the mouse to shoot. So I spent a good few minutes trying to figure out what was going on. But once I got it, it was quite fun and quite silly. It's a silly little game. And as you can see here, I'm just shooting numbers, and the ones have little party hats on, which is quite nice as well. I think with this one, the platforming felt a little weird. I don't know what platforming code or engine or system they used, but it was a very weird way. You had to kind of have the directional on to jump, and then you would just stop flat if you sort of took your hand off the direction. I don't think there was much in the way of forward momentum. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but the platforming felt different. But I got the hang of it, and it's a little bit tricky, as you can see here, but I got the hang of it and shot all those horrible non-one numbers, because as we know, there is one and only one. There's going to be a lot of one theme, obviously there's going to be, because the theme is just one. I did fall down there, which upset me greatly, but it was a lot of fun in how silly and quirky it is, and it's very plain, simple graphically, which I think kind of works in its favour. It has a sort of very simplistic, minimal feel to it. But I clambered back up that ramp and shot down those numbers, and I'm greeted at the end, as you'll see in a second, with a lovely scene here where it's just one. That's a very nice little entry. Overall, quite charming, quite silly. Good job. Okay, so up next we have got Starline Command. And in Starline Command you have just one control, which is the mouse. This is graphically a very impressive game. The effects, the juiciness of it all, the sort of monocolour pixel art, it's very beautifully done. My only critique here is it is very confusing controlling this ship, because you just end up. I found it really difficult. I didn't really understand how to control it. I took a little hit there, but I found I was just doing loops in the ocean. Basically trying my best to figure out how I navigated this machine, because you're meant to shoot down the ships, but I have absolutely no idea how. It's, yeah, like I say, graphically a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing it, but yeah, it's just, I inexplicably shot someone off screen there as well, which was nice. But yeah, and audio as well, the sound was very intense, it was very good music. But yeah, just very, very weird to control. So overall, not a bad entry, but I would have liked a little bit clearer controls, I suppose, if that makes sense. But yeah, good fun. Okay, so up next today we have got Nuclear Sniper. In Nuclear Sniper, you are shooting the red cars as they go across this racetrack. You have one shot, and in doing so you have to take out all the red, and you also have to not attack any civilians. It's a very interesting concept. It plays with the idea of time, because you can up and down the speed as well as reduce it, or rewind time as well. It's very cleverly done. I think graphically it's very simple. You also have to avoid shooting with civilians. I did not, but I still completed it, granted only with a bronze star, or tick. This one I messed up entirely. I just killed loads of civilians. But it's very, very interesting in that you have to really sort of tactically consider where things are going to be. And you also have the race lines on the left of the screen showing where the cars, the enemy cars and the civilian cars are going to come out. So yeah, it gives you a lot to think about, because you have to shoot into one of these buildings to distribute your bullets, and they go across in a pattern. You have a nice little arrow indicating where they're going to shoot, and in doing so, you can shoot the cars. It's very simple. It's I did that one quite well. I was quite surprised I only got the bronze, to be honest. But yeah, it's a very nicely done one. It's very interesting, and like I said, mechanically, it's very sound, albeit very simple, but I enjoyed this one as well. Okay, so up next, a game I happen to know a lot about. One Shot Trishbot. I'm always going to include my games in here as well. And I had a lot of fun making this because what you have to do is make it to the exit by plotting your moves in advance. And you have to land on the exit, avoiding the obstacles as you go. I've got assist mode turned on here. The idea is you can either have assist mode on to make it a lot easier, or you can challenge yourself with your own memory and planning by turning it off. That's those arrow indicators there. What you have to do is make it to the exit by plotting in advance, and you have to not, like I say, hit the obstacles or indeed stop short of the exit. Because if you do, poor old Trishbot. Yeah, I quite enjoyed making this one. Surprisingly, I did this and still had an hour to spare after the jam. Usually, at least in my last one, I had like 6 seconds left. I was right on the line, so I was quite pleased. I had an hour and I was like, what am I going to do with myself now? Yeah, this is just a silly pixel arty kind of game. And like I said here, you just have to, you see me planning the moves. I made her particularly bouncy, I suppose. Yeah, I thought that was quite silly. I like making ridiculous characters like that. And also her wig detaches when she goes into the exit. Just silly little things like that. As you can see there. Yeah, I enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So check out One Shot Trishbot. Okay, so this game is called One Wrong Choice. I will warn you now, this game deals with suicidal themes. If that is going to be triggering to you or make you uncomfortable in any way, I will put a timestamp on the screen of when you can skip. Due to the sensitive nature of this game, I'm going to talk entirely about its mechanics and not about the subject matter itself. In this game, what you have are choices to make in a point-and-click style way to basically prevent you from firing that handgun. Your first choice is to answer the phone. You have to do that. Unfortunately, the voice acting is not very clear, and it's not helped by the fact that I'm talking over it right now. I think it's a nice phone call. Again, it's not very much bearing over it because if you click decline, it's game over. And then afterwards you're presented with different options. You either have a phone, picture, or a medical record. The story behind it is that you were in a bad relationship. The woman you married ended up, what was it? I think aborting the baby or something. It's a very dark topic. There's a nice photo with your mother. That's a good answer, a good option. I would like to have seen more themes of mental health discussed in this. I would like to have seen perhaps some more indication of how someone can get help when they're going through these kinds of frames of mind. I think that sort of thing would have helped in this situation. And then there's a bit of a shock scare and game over. It's a very dark game, and I think they have the foundations of expanding upon this to help people with mental health. But that is one wrong. Okay, so lightening the mood now, we have Trick Shot. And in Trick Shot, what you have to do is fire the one singular arrow you have into the targets. You have to bounce it off of the walls, and basically, yeah, it's as simple as that. Pop all the targets with your one arrow. I think the lines that you bounce off of, the 1 pixel thickness, makes it a little bit difficult. I think I would have liked to have seen thicker lines. Not necessarily more difficult, I suppose maybe just a bit harder to see. It kind of looks out of place with the otherwise very sort of thick pixel style going on here. But that's just a minor nitpick. It's got 8 levels and they're all quite silly and quite fun, made only better by the voice acting. The silliness of the yay and ah and all that. Yeah. I think that's hilarious. But yeah, it's got 8 levels. It's a very short game, but it's short and sweet. And the arrow at the beginning showing you where you're going to fire it is very helpful, very indicative. And it really makes you think how on earth you can pop all the targets in one go. So it's nice and innovative. It's an interesting one. And yeah, like I said, short and sweet. Good job. Okay, so we're going through a whole different range of emotions in this theme, and in this game we are playing Lauren Alexis Find the One. What you are playing as is this Lauren Alexis beating off clowns to find the one. It's a very, very short experience. You're in Camden. I do like Camden, and I think that's Cyberdog in the background there. And there he is. There's the one. just waving his arms in the street, waiting for you. That's very kind. I don't know why you have glowing red eyes in the menu. Maybe she's not slept very well because she just couldn't find the one. I know that feeling. I too have beaten off a few clowns. But it's silly. It's a very, very short-lived experience. I would have liked to have seen more levels, perhaps more challenge. But I think the notion itself is just ridiculous, and that made me smile. And there he is. Lauren Alexis found the one. How sweet. And finally today, we have Rootin' Tootin' Sad Boy. It's, I'm playing this reminding myself of that meme, I'm in this photo and I don't like it. I feel sometimes like a Rootin' Tootin' Sad Boy too. It's a little bit like Trick Shot, but more with a Western theme. All you have to do is point your gun and make sure that you shoot all the Rootin' Tootin' Sad Boys, because this town ain't big enough for more than one sad boy. It's neither rootin' nor a tootin'. I believe these would be good ways of explaining your mental state when you well, I suppose it'll put a lighter theme on the whole thing, because it is neither rootin' nor tootin'. And yeah, it's very much, it's as simple as that. I would like to have seen some sort of guidance arrow when you're shooting, perhaps as some sort of indicator as to where the bullet's going to go, as it can be a bit difficult to aim it just right. But yeah, that's all we have today, so until next time, this sad boy's going down, and I will see you in the next video.